What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to another Final Order Cutoff Speculation and Recommendations video. Now, before we dive into today's video, I gotta apologize about a mistake I made on last week's video during the New Comic Book Day cover lever pick section, because instead of just going 1 week ahead, last week I accidentally jumped 2 weeks ahead during my research, so I had the completely wrong covers on during that section. Those covers are actually coming out on next week's New Comic Book Day, which is August 14th of 2024. So they are the correct covers for this week's video. So I will replay that section from last week's video during the New Comic Book Day section of today's video. So I made a mistake. I probably got a lot of you guys excited for some covers that actually weren't coming out this week, which was August 7th of 2024. So I'm sorry, I'm human, I made a mistake. Please forgive me. Now let's get back to today's video. So this is Final Order Cutoff Speculation and Recommendations. I look over all the books that are on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff, trying to find if there's any books worthy of you and me speculating on, so that way we can try to make this hobby fun itself. But I also look at all the new number ones, trying to see if there's any stories that we cannot miss out on because the story sounds so freaking good. So that's this video. It's all about Final Order Cutoff. So let's not waste any more time and cover my 3 weekly speculation reminders. Now, before we get into the reminders, if you guys have seen this video series before, or you guys are seasoned speculators, guys, there are timestamps down in the description below. You can skip right ahead to Final Order Cutoff cover lever picks. But if you guys are new to speculation or new to this video series, please hear these 3 weekly speculation reminders. And the first one up is the same every single week. Actually, they're all the same every single week. But this is the most important, and that is you guys have to do your own research. Guys, I'm going to present some information to you today, but what I need you to do is to go check other comic book YouTubers you trust, other comic book websites that you trust, and other comic book apps that you trust. Gather the most information possible so that way you guys can make the best decisions possible for yourself. Because remember, you guys are spending your own hard-earned money on these books. It's not my money, it's your money. Now, the second reminder that I have for you guys is that there are delays with comic books, so sometimes a book will show up multiple times on Final Order Cutoff, and that is because its release date got moved for one reason or another. Now, the final reminder that I have for you guys is that I record this video on Thursday. Today is Thursday, August 8th of 2024, and DC Comics, Marvel Comics, and all the independent publishers have until Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, which is tomorrow, August 9th, to lock in the books that are going to be on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff. So that means they can add or remove books after I've finished recording and editing this video. So what I suggest you do before you lock in your Final Order Cutoff orders is to check these 2 places. The first place is the Comic Book Frontier. It is a great Facebook group run by my good friend Al, and he will update the Facebook group all the way up into the Final Order Cutoff order deadline dates. And the last place is coverprice.com. It is one of the best websites for comic book secondary market information out there. It is such a fantastic website. They collate so much data, but they also put out a Final Order Cutoff picks list every single weekend, so make sure you guys are checking those 2 places before you finalize your orders. Coverprice.com and the Comic Book Frontier. Alright guys, let's go ahead and cover this weekend's Final Order Cutoff order deadline date. Alright guys, if you're interested in pre-ordering any of the books that I'm going to talk about in today's video, you guys have until Monday, August 12th to get your pre-orders in. And the main reason you want to do that is that you can save up to 20% off the cover price of these books if you pre-order by Monday, August 12th of 2024. And if you're seriously going to speculate on one of these books and you're going to get multiple copies of it, why not save that 20% so when you sell these books, you can make that much more of a profit. Alright guys, that is this weekend's Final Order Cutoff order deadline date. So let's go ahead and dive into the fun part of this video, which is this weekend's Final Order Cutoff cover lever picks. Alright guys, these are the covers that I found on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff that I think could possibly sell well on the secondary market, either right out of the gate or in the future. Now this first one up is a little bit of a long shot, but I gotta give you guys all the information, and that is Absolute Power issue number 3. The cover A, it's done by Dan Mora, so it's absolutely gorgeous to look at, and it's an homage to Incredible Hulk issue number 340, and if anyone in the future is collecting all the homage covers to Incredible Hulk issue number 340, those will need this one, but I'm pretty sure with this being a big crossover event, there's probably going to be a lot of copies out there, so hedge your bets on this one, but I gotta give you guys the information. Now, the next cover up is pretty interesting. It's Batman issue number 152. This is the cover H. It's a 1 in 25 ratio variant done by Joel Jones, and what I think is interesting about it is that it kind of looks like a bondage cover. You got Batman, and he's got Catwoman all like roped up with her whip, and it kind of looks like bondage to me. What do you guys think about that one? And I know there's people out there that collect bondage covers, so this one could be on their radar. And with this being in 1 in 25, maybe it's a little bit more rare and harder to get, but it is Batman, so there's always shops ordering a lot of Batman covers. So this one won't be exactly rare, but also the cover is freaking gorgeous. Now guys, next up is Birds of Prey issue number 13, the cover F, which is another 1 in 25 ratio variant done by Travis Mercer. Now the reason why I put up this on the list is that this is Birds of Prey issue number 13. It's pretty late into the run, and how many shops are going to be ordering 25 copies of this issue right here just to get this cover? So I think this cover could be rare. It's a pretty nice cover. It's great depictions of all the characters in the Birds of Prey. What do you guys think? Could this possibly be a ghost in the future? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Alright guys, next up is Fantastic Four issue number 25 with the variant cover in the 1 in 50 ratio variant done by Greg Capullo. Now the one to speculate on here I think would be the 1 in 50 Virgin ratio variant. It's a gorgeous cover done by Greg Capullo. Now guys, next up is Scarlet issue number 4 with the cover E, which is a 1 in 50 ratio variant done by Chuma Hill. Now this is not exactly the most gorgeous cover out there. It is one of my favorites for this issue. Now the reason why I added this one to the list is that it is a 1 in 50 ratio variant. And again, how many shops are ordering 50 copies of Scarlet issue number 4? Not 1, 4. So I think this cover could be a little rare and harder to get. Alright guys, next up is Sonic the Hedgehog issue number 73, the 1 in 10 ratio variant done by Natalie Fordrain. Now I added this to the list because I watch the House of Stein religiously. It's a great live YouTube stream every single Friday night. I'm not sure what time they put it on. I always watch it Saturday morning. But I can tell you right now, so many of the 1 in 10 Sonic covers make that list over time, and they're always selling for a larger amount than you would ever expect. So that's why I've been adding all these Sonic 1 in 10s to my list. Alright guys, those are all my cover lover picks. Let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which are my second prints, facsimiles, and beyond. Alright guys, I found 1 facsimile and 2 second prints. That's it. But I will say, make sure you guys are checking the Comic Book Frontier or coverprice.com before you finalize your orders, because second prints are something they usually add additional of after I record this video on Thursday. So just remember that. Check those places before you finalize your orders in case there is a second print that you think might do well on the secondary market in the future. Alright guys, the facsimile that I found was Detective Comics issue number 400, and they're putting out a facsimile foil, and a facsimile blank, and this has the first appearance in the origin story for Man-Bat. This also has the first team up of Batgirl and Robin in a backup story in this issue. Alright guys, the first second print is X-Force issue number 1 with the second print variant done by Tony S. Daniel, but there is also a 1 in 25 Virgin ratio variant done by David Nakayama for this issue. But guys, there is also another second print. It is Saga issue number 67 with the second print variant done by Fiona Staples. I haven't seen a Saga second print in a very long time, so I'm very curious why Image Comics decided to put out a second print for this issue. Alright guys, that's it for second prints in facsimiles. Let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which are all the books that had something in the guts. Alright guys, I found 5 books with something in or around the gut. Some of these are a little bit of a stretch, you could say, but I'm going to give you the information and you guys do what you want with it. Now, first up, we got Avengers Assemble issue number 1. Now, this does have the first team appearance of the Avengers, which is the Avengers Emergency Response Squad, led by Captain America and with Wasp, Hawkeye, Hercules, She-Hulk, Photon, Night Thrasher, Lightning, Wonder Man, Shang-Chi, and Lightspeed. Now, I read the synopsis for this. It does not sound very good. It does not have a very strong creative team on it either, so I would stay away from this one. My personal opinion, you guys do what you want with it, but this does not seem like an interesting book to me. Now guys, next up is Star Wars issue number 50 with the series finale of this current run. And in the synopsis, it mentions giant-sized Star Wars epic, a 50-page extravaganza. but nothing else screamed anything in the guts besides it being a final issue of the current run. Now guys, next up is Ultimate Black Panther issue number 8. Now the synopsis says, meanwhile, Killmonger and Oki seek allies to aid their cause outside of Wakanda. So don't miss this big gun they call in. Ultimate who? You'll have to read to find out. So is this going to be the first appearance of a character for this specific universe? Possibly. That could be pretty cool, but most likely it is a character that we know it's just going to be their first appearance within this universe. All right, guys, next up is Uncanny X-Men issue number 2. Now, this has the first team appearance of the Outliers, and can you see their faces on the 1-in-25 ratio variant? Would that be their first cover appearance and also first team appearance in the Guts? You guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. Now, the final book is Vengeance of the Moon Knight issue number 9. Now, the solicitation here only says classified. They're not giving us any information about this issue. So what's going to happen in it? Is there anything we can actually speculate on? Well, I do not have a preview issue to this issue right here, so I could not find out anything concrete for you guys, but it is pretty interesting that they're only saying classified for this issue. No one else has speculated anything for this, so guys, if you guys do find something, guys, leave a comment down below if there's actually something in this book or not, and I'll pin it to the top. All right, guys, those are all the books. We've done cover level picks, second prints, facsimiles, and beyond, and stuff that had something in the guts. I'll come back to you with my spec picks of the week. All right, guys, I haven't said this in a while, but I can safely say I think this would be a great weekend to save your money. There's nothing on this weekend's final order cutoff that truly screams it's gonna make you money on the secondary market. Now, if you have money like burning in your pocket and you have to spend it, otherwise it will explode on fire, there are 2 books that you can keep an eye on. First one up is Sonic the Hedgehog issue number 73 with the 1-in-10 ratio variant done by Natalie Fordrain. Now, these just 1-in-10s tend to sell well on the secondary market, but that's only based on my knowledge from watching the House of Stein YouTube video every single Friday, because so many of these 1-in-10s do end up on his top 10 list. Now, the final book is X-Force issue number 1. This is 1, the second print variant, 1-in-25 virgin ratio variant done by David Nakayama. So many second print 1-in-25 virgins for Marvel Comics sell well on the secondary market. And with this one featuring Deadpool and a bunch of other cool Deadpool characters and the movie just being released, maybe this one will have a little bit more buzz because of that reason, or it will just sell well because it's a 1-in-25 virgin ratio variant second print. I don't know why so many of those sell, but they really do. So if you had to spend money, those would be the 2 books I personally would spend money on if it was burning a hole in my pocket. All right, guys, that is it for speculation. Let's go ahead and cover the 2 books that I found on this weekend's final order cutoff that are my recommendations to read. All right, guys, I took a look at every single new number 1 coming out on this weekend's final order cutoff, read the synopsises, and tried to see if there's any books that we had to have, and there were 2. I think both of these stories are going to be freaking amazing, and you guys need to pre-order them and support these books. Now, the first one up is Minor Arcana. Now, this is coming from the writer and artist of Jeff Lemire. I'm a huge Jeff Lemire fan. I think so many of his books are so fantastically done. Just think of Sweet Tooth. He was the writer, artist on that book, and just look at the TV show that they created out of that amazing book. And there's also so many other amazing books that he's written, but let's go ahead and read the synopsis for this one. One of the most renowned creators in comics, New York Times best-selling and award-winning writer and artist Jeff Lemire arrives at Boom Studios with an extra-length opening chapter of a must-read ongoing series inspired by and intricately linked to the Tarot, and perfect for fans of his creator-owned work as well as Helen of Windhorn and Lock and Key. That sounds so good. I've really enjoyed his series that is out right now called Fish Flies. He's doing the art and writing on that, and it's been a ton of fun. It reads super well, and it's just a very interesting character-driven story, and I really, really like it. And guys, there are some awesome variant covers for this. There's an awesome Jenny Frison. There's an awesome David Mack. There's an awesome Dustin Gwynn. There's an awesome variant cover done by Jeff Lemire himself. There's just so much cool things happening for this book. There is an Erica Slaughter one as well, which I don't really care for myself. But guys, Minor Arcana, done by Jeff Lemire, is a must pick up in my opinion. Now, the second book that I think you guys have to be picking up is the Magic Order Volume 5, Issue number 1. This is coming from the writer of Mark Millar and has art by Matteo Buffagini. This series is the final volume of the Magic Order, which I want to cry a little bit because the Magic Order has been one of my favorite reads, period, over like the last, I guess 5 or so years, because he's put out a volume, I think, like every single year over the past 5 years or so. And it's just, if you like magic, you will love this series. It's like adult, not Harry Potter, because they're not in a school, but it's based on a magic family, and they have to protect the whole world of magic, and there's always people trying to tear them down, and some terrible things have happened within this series. So much blood and guts and destruction, all with magic. This is me with a wand. It's so good. And he's had different artists on every single series, and they've all been incredible. Oliver Copel was one. Dai Gruan was one. I'm forgetting the other two that have been on it so far, but Matteo Buffagini is going to be fantastic. It's just going to be, it's an ending that I don't want to happen because I want this series to go on forever, but every single series has an end at some point, and I guess we're going to get it right now. But Mark Millar or Millar, I don't know which one it is just such a fantastic writer, and he's so good in this series. Now, there is a variant cover for this. There's actually 2 of them. There is the cover B, which is a black and white variant, and there is a cover C done by Jay Lee. I'm just going to go with the cover A because it's the best in my opinion. All right, guys, those are the 2 books that you guys have to be pre-ordering to read because the stories they're gonna be really, really good and you don't want to miss out. All right, guys, it is time to finish this video with my new comic book day cover lover picks for next week's new comic book day, which is August 14th of 2024. Now, I'm just gonna replay the section from last week's video, which had the incorrect covers on it because they were for next week's new comic book day. So if you guys watched last week's video and you remember the covers, you guys can go ahead and stop the video right now. But if you forgot what those covers are, or you didn't see last week's video, stick around because there are some awesome freaking covers coming out on next week's new comic book day. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, guys, we're going to cover some covers that are coming out on next week's new comic book day, which is August 7th of 2024. And I do think some of these covers could sell well on the secondary market. So, guys, keep an eye out for all these covers when you're in your local comic book shop. But, guys, don't forget, do your own research. All right, guys, first up is Fantastic Four, issue number 23, the variant cover done by Alexander Lozano. Fantastic thing cover. Now, I think this book most likely will sell well in the future, not right out of the gate. Unless this book is low ordered, especially if this variant cover is low ordered, then I can see this cover popping off right away because this cover, I don't know, there's something about this cover that makes it special. Now, next up is a really cool looking independent. This is Fearless Dawn, The Bomb, issue number 2 with the cover B variant done by Steve Mannon. A small print variant done by Asylum Press, which is probably not going to have a huge printing. And this cover is a little sexy. It's different. I can see this cover in the future doing well, especially if at some point Steve Mannon's popularity blows up. I think people will come back to this and really want it. All right, guys, next up is Gotham City Sirens, issue number 2, the cover C variant done by Ji Hung Lee. Again, these Ji Hung Lee variants for Gotham City Sirens are just fantastic. They are so great, and this is the second one coming out on next week's new comic day. So we have the last issue on FOC and this second issue on new comic day for next week. All right, guys, next up is Kill All Immortals, issue number 2 with the cover B variant done by Ivan Tao. This cover is freaking awesome. And I heard issue number 1 of Kill All Immortals was a fantastic read, so it's a great read, supposedly, because I'm gonna read mine soon-ish, but great covers as well. So great covers, great story, freaking awesome. Let's go. Next up is a gorgeous cover. This is Red Sonja, Empire of the Damned, issue number 5, the cover E, which is the Virgin variant done by Joshua Middleton. This cover is so good. Now, there is a trade dress and then like multiple versions of this, like a black and white and everything else. But this one, the cover E Virgin, in my opinion, is hands down the best. The best. Hands down, you know Ghost and I are going after this. And Ghost is an awesome member of the Discord. So guys, don't forget to join the Discord, linked down in the description below. But this cover is fantastic. All right, guys, next up is Spider Society, issue number 1, with the 1 in 100 Virgin ratio variant done by Artgerm. I don't love this, but it's a high ratio spider book featuring Spider-Gwen. and it is pretty good, and I think people will go after it because it is such a high ratio book. All right, guys, next up is Werewolf by Night, issue number 1, with the 1 in 50 ratio variant, done by Jeff DeCall. It's a DeCall, Elsa Bloodstone, Werewolf by Night. Let's freaking go. I think this cover will sell well. Next up, X-Men issue number 1, the second print 1 in 25 virgin ratio variant, done by JTC. This is just one of those second print 1 in 25 virgins that I think is just gonna sell well. It's X-Men, it's magic, and I think it has all the elements needed for a book to sell well on the secondary market. And guess what? The next book is X-Men issue number 2, the 1 in 100 virgin ratio variant, done by J. Scott Campbell. This cover is fire. Fire, so good, and it's a high ratio featuring magic, great artwork. It has everything. This book is definitely going to sell well. And that is it. Those are all the covers coming out on next week's New Comic Book Day that I think could or will sell well on the secondary market. And that is the end of today's video. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Alright guys, we are at the end of today's video, and I want to apologize one more time for screwing up last week's video. It's an honest mistake, and I truly apologize. I will do my best to never make that mistake again. But I am human, and there's always going to be mistakes that could be made, but hopefully I'll never make that one again. Now, if you guys watched from the beginning of the video to this point right here, I just gotta let you guys know, thank you for supporting the channel, and you guys are legends. Now, if you guys have not smashed that like button just yet, do me a favor and smash that like button. And last but not least, guys, if you guys enjoy comic book content and you enjoyed that video and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notifications, and smash that like button. I guess you could smash both, like and the bell. Do them both. It helps out the channel a lot, helps you out a lot. I guess this is you guys a lot. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this week, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend, a great final order cutoff, and I'll catch you guys next week on Tuesday with the Wednesday pull list. All right, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.